addicted? I don't know. Maybe watch videos, world star, YouTube, Instagram. Who knows?
I know, and I know that knowledge is powerful. And if you got it, you can do anything that you want.
But who are you? The positive coach, the reading coach, because you really doing the most. If you ain't talking about money, you ain't talking about nothing. Cause me and my bitch ain't worried about nothing.
That's how you wanna live your life, your whole life. I know it, I know you're right. What if you got jammed up but don't know you're right? Don't know how to read, you still gotta pay the price.
Wait, what? I do?
Why you looking real clueless? Don't get mad at me when your friends are calling you stupid.
I guess they really not my friends if they look down on me then.
Nope.
I can hear it.
If I do some reading?
Nope, it won't hurt, not at all. As long as you try, that's all, and give your all. When you just
Read a book.
you can really
All right, let's get our wiggles out.
You stimulate your mind when you read a book. You might as well go ahead and just read a book.
I can really get some knowledge when I read a book. I can stimulate my mind when I read a book. Even with my friends, I can read a book. Oh man, might as well just
Read a book.
Read a book. Read a book. Read a book.
All right. Got all of us reading our book. All right, so today's book for today is Miss Nelson is Missing. So,
it is a pretty funny book.
have you seen this one before?
No.
No? Okay. So the author, remember tomorrow we're having an author come in. So we'll actually get to see who writes the book and she's going to read it for us. So that's going to be cool. So,
Oh my goodness. Best thing ever.
best thing ever. So Miss Nelson is Missing. It's by Harry Allard. Okay? And we'll start. The kids in room 207 were misbehaving again. Spitballs stuck to the ceiling, paper planes just whizzing through the air. They were the worst behaved class in the whole school. No good. They were bad kids. And they were being mean. So let's see what happens. So look at the little picture of the kids with their teacher. Now settle down, Miss Nelson said in a sweet voice, but the whole class would not listen. They would not settle down. They whispered and they giggled and they squirmed and they made faces. So not cool. They weren't listening to their teacher. Let's see what happens. They were even rude during story hour, so they must not have been paying attention during story time. Not cool. And they refused to do their lessons. Something will have to be done, thought Mrs. Nelson. The next morning, Mrs. Nelson did not come to school. Wow, yelled the kids, now we can really act up. They began to throw more spitballs and paper planes. Today, let's just be terrible, they said. Not so fast, hissed an unpleasant voice. So here are those bad kids. A woman in an ugly black dress. She stood before them. I am your new teacher. Miss Viola Swamp. She rapped the desk with a ruler. Where's Mrs. Nelson? All the kids asked. Never mind that, Miss Swamp. Open those arithmetic books. Miss Nelson's kids did as they were told. So look at, she's very, very scary looking, kind of old, and she has a black dress on, and you see that? All right, well, let's see what happens. They could see that Miss Swamp was like a real witch. She meant business. And right away, she put them to work. And she loaded them down with homework. All right. So they were not even playing around. We'll have no story hour today, said Mrs. Swamp. Keep your mouth shut, said Mrs. Swamp. Sit perfectly still, said Mrs. Swamp. And if you misbehave, You'll be sorry, Mrs. Swamp said. The kids of room 207 had never worked so hard. Days went by, and there was no sign of Miss Nelson. And the kids missed Miss Nelson. Maybe we should go try to find her, they said. Some of them went to the police. Detective McSmog was assigned to the case. He listened to their stories. He scratched his little chin and said, I think Mrs. Nelson is missing. Detective McSmog would not be much help.
Can we already start the class then?
Almost done with this. Other kids went to Mrs. Nelson's house. The shades were tightly drawn and no answer at the door. In fact, the only person they did see was the wicked Miss Viola Swamp coming up the street. If she sees us, she'll give us more homework. They just got away in time, so they ran away. Maybe something terrible happened to Miss Nelson. Maybe she was gobbled up by a shark, said one of the kids. But that didn't seem likely. Mrs. Nelson went to Mars.
Mrs. Kim, I just came in here.
Thank you. Mrs. Nelson maybe went to Mars, said another kid. But that didn't seem likely either. So, I know, exclaimed one know-it-all. Maybe Mrs. Nelson was a car was carried off by a swarm of angry butterflies. But that's least likely of all that happened. Look at the little butterflies in the car. That's really funny. Doubt it. The kids of the room 207 became very, very discouraged. It seemed like Mrs. Nelson was never coming back. And they would be stuck with this Miss Viola Swamp forever. They heard footsteps in the hall. Here comes the witch, they whispered. Hello, children. And someone else said with a sweet voice, Miss Viola is not here, it's Miss Nelson. Did you miss me, she asked. We certainly did, all the children cried. Where were you? That's my little secret, said Miss Nelson. How about story hour? Oh, yes, cried the kids. Miss Nelson noticed that during story hour, no one was rude or silly. They brought about lovely change, she asked. That's our little secret, said the kids. And they were sitting nice and being respectful and reading. And when Miss Nelson got home, she took off her coat and she hung it in the closet right next to an ugly black dress. When it's time for bed, she sang a little song. I'll never tell, she said to herself with a smile. There you go. P.S. Detective McSmog is working on a new case. He's now looking for Miss Viola Swamp. The end.